Welcome to the Mile High Church podcast. Glad to have you with us today. We are so excited to have Dan Harris joining us at Mile High Church on Friday, November 3rd at 7 p.m. Tickets are $45. You can get them at milehighchurch.org. Hope you'll join us for this wonderful event. See you then.
All right, there is a constant theme, a drum that keeps being hit over and over and over in our culture. And its chant is more, 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 more. And it is so pervasive, so pervasive. So much so that it has become deeply ingrained in our culture and in many of us. As an example of that, now that we're able to stream television series, they give us the whole enchilada, all of them at once. So you watch one, and of course something within says, what? More. And more and more and more. Now, I bet you've had times when you've given up hours upon hours saying yes to that and more. In fact, maybe whole weekends, right? Don't sit there looking pious at me. I know. Indeed. Now, at least the New York Times is trying to protect us from ourselves because they give us only one wordle a day. Only one. And if you don't know what a wordle is, explore that at your own risk. More, 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 more. It's insistent. More money, more stuff, bigger houses, more impressive cars, trendy clothes, the latest phone or the latest watch, whatever the case. Now, we all have certain basic needs in life, survival needs, of course, and we all desire that which supports our well-being. We have the desire for enjoyment. And the good news about this teaching is that we are here to enjoy life and to multiply the good of life. And so that's all good. And yet the challenge is that what I will call the marketplace is hard at work 24/7, convincing you that you're not complete without what they've got for you. And you need more. You need more, and you're not going to be quite as happy as your peers unless you have this more. And it's a constant barrage from the marketplace, as it were, trying to sell you on this more. And I think if we're going to live a conscious life, we have to take stock in that. Is what I'm seeking to achieve or acquire in my life lifting me up? Is it serving me? Or is it just, have I become hypnotized by this constant more, more, more? To what degree have I bought into that? Now, in addition to the marketplace, another arena where more is a constant chant is actually at a level of ourselves. It is the fearful ego. That aspect of us that has a worldly concept of us, mostly imbued with a sense of inadequacy, not enoughness. The ego defends against love and fears life. So more for the ego is give me more praise. I need more praise. I need more recognition. Oh, and I need more prestige and power, and I need to protect whatever it is that I have of that. I need more security, more safety. More safety. I need agreement. I need people to understand me and agree with me. I need sympathy. I need pitying. Oh, the ego says, I need to be liked. Like me, like me, like me. No, be a chameleon so you'll like me. More invitations, more involvement. The ego yearns for that. There's an epidemic around called FOMO. You know what that is? Yeah, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out, and many are caught up in that. And then what I've learned lately is there's a response movement to that called JOMO, which is joy of missing out. And I think it was started by those who are exhausted by having not missed out, and a bunch of introverts hang out there as well. But then the needs of the fearful ego can go to a troubling level as well. When the ego is proclaiming, I need more blaming. I need more people to blame. I need to judge more. I'm not going to work on myself. I just need to blame and judge. That's what I want more of. And I want more revenge. I want more getting even. And if that doesn't work, I want to lash out more. I want more hostility. And I want to be a part of hostility. I need more excuses and alibis for why my life doesn't work, so that I can convince everybody that I'm so miserable. And I need more barriers, ultimately. Walls to keep others out and protect myself. And when the ego goes to this level, then our life gets filled with some very significant toxins. And things just can't work. Now, I bring all this up so that we can get clear and come out of whatever state of hypnosis we might be in, or whatever involvement in these might be, and sense the pressure of the marketplace and the unhealed elements of an insecurity within us. Because here's the deal. When we go after the more that they want us to go after and don't get it, it is usually incredibly deflating to one's self-worth. Because we tend to buy into this myth that our value is determined by outcomes. And by getting more of what it is agreed makes us look and feel good. And we're striving to finally be at peace and be happy with ourselves by getting more. But the problem also is that in those times when we actually have achieved a bit or an element of that more, we've come to realize it was just a temporary high, and that it really did not create a lasting, solid, greater sense of ourselves. So as we get clear about this and open our eyes to this, then we can do something. And this is my first recommendation for this. And that is explore your more. Explore your more. When you feel pushed, when you feel driven, when you feel needy around something, pause. Quiet yourself. And then ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is it coming from my deepest wisdom and guidance? Or is this socially manipulated? Is this coming from fear or from inadequacy or trying to be more of what I think is expected? Will this really elevate me, really grow me, or keep me involved in the futile search for my happiness in terms of outcomes, in terms of getting? Now, when we ask that kind of a deep question, we begin to have breakthroughs. And at first we may not like the answers, but then all of a sudden we step beyond that and life can open up. And then we can start going after what I think is the great more that it is fantastic and powerful to embrace, where I would suggest that you agree with more. And that is when we wake up to the realization that what we're here to do is awaken to the more that is always around us and within us. That we're here to realize the moreness, the essence of the divine that is everywhere present. It's not later. It's not when we get the stuff we want or get the things, people doing what we want. It's here and now. There's a higher essence, a greater reality. It's in you and it's around you. Jesus, that greatest of master enlightened teachers, he said the kingdom of heaven isn't up there. It's not over there. He said the kingdom of God is within you. It's within you. And he also said the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Meaning the glory in life that we seek is at hand. It's right here. But are we oblivious to it? We're caught up in seeking so much of that other more that we forget to quest for the highest more, which is the essence of life. There are the appearances and the temporary phenomena of life. But abiding in the midst of it all is the essence of the life and the light and the power of the life principle. Call it God, Spirit, love, whatever you choose. But it's right here, right now. And that's what I want more of. And I think in our deepest heart, we all want more of that. I've got a short little video to show you, and I want to set it up. This is a video of a precious 14-month-old girl. Now, this little girl was born with a visual deficiency. And now, family has gathered around her at 14 months, and she is receiving her first pair of eyeglasses. And maybe you've seen this, but take it to heart. Every time I see it, I'm deeply moved. And by the way, this has also been a phenomenon with youth of that age getting their first cochlear implant and being able to see. But open to this. Watch this. I just love that. You know why I showed you that? It's because I think the child within us wants to open up to life just like that. Jesus is recorded to have said, "You have eyes, but you don't see. And you have ears, but you don't hear." We don't get it. Because we're looking at the gross appearances and judgments of things. And in 1 Corinthians, it's written, we look as through a glass darkly. And so we come to the startling realization that we're sleepwalking through this life. Or we're seeing such a tiny slice. And there's this glory around us. And that is a symbol of what happens when we awaken. We come out of our sense of limitation and our self-disregard, and we open to the essence of the Spirit that has always been here. And whenever we do, just like that child, we are transformed. We have this kind of an experience again. It's like, oh my God, I was stumbling over myself, but look at life all around me. Oh my God. And this is what the master teachers have been saying. Wake up. What are you going after in life? How about going after more experience, more realization? It's not about physical eyesight, it's about insight. How about going after the insight that realizes life is glorious in every moment, even our moments of struggle? That there's this glory, this power, this light, this presence here and now. That's the core of this teaching, that the divine is here now. The kingdom is within and all around us, if we have eyes to see and ears to hear. So what we really need more of, and I know that many of you have been on pins and needles waiting for today's acronym. Well, it is with that word more, moments of realizing essence. That's what we need, more. When you need more, it's moments of realizing the essence of life that doesn't leave, that isn't crowded out by our challenges or what's going on around us. The essence, the beauty, the light, the love, the power, the reality of life. And here's the second key about that. The corrective lens that helps us perceive this, the corrective lens is the heart. The heart. If I can open my heart in any situation and experience and view and perceive and encounter life through my heart, I have that wow experience. It's like, oh my God, I was living in such a limited vibration, such a limited scope. And look what's here. I invite you into that right now. This place is so glorious, and you are so glorious. This community is so glorious. Wow. It's like you become a proverbial wow all the time. Not a bad way to live, by the way. And then all the carrots dangled at you. Now, this will give you meaning. This will be great. This will be happy. Some of you might say, well, okay. But you receive them not as an additive to your life, substantially. You see them for what they really are. And you really know what has value and primacy. So you go to the heart this week, and you open up to the essence. You have some moments of realizing essence. Maybe you're with somebody. Maybe it's somebody you know really well. Maybe it's somebody you hardly know. And as you're sharing and you're hearing and learning about them, you can have your heart sense of there's so much more than I know or they know. This is a luminous light being here with a base of potential that will forever be unfolding. And you can be in this awe around somebody as you get a sense, a report out from them of what they think they know of themselves right now. And you begin a relationship, but you got that sense of more. Maybe you're taking a walk in nature. And rather than just seeing pleasant objects around, you shift into your heart and you realize this is a dance of the divine I'm in. This glorious spectacle, this panorama of beauty and life presencing itself so phenomenally, and I'm a part of that. It's not me and it, it's all of us. And all of a sudden there's an inner fulfillment that nothing can quite equal. Or maybe you go to your heart and you open up when you're in situations of confusion or chaos, situations of pain or difficulty, inner turmoil, sadness, situations where you feel you're chained to some particular limitation, and yet you go to your heart and you commune with that essence that can never be imprisoned and can never be limited by the phenomena or the conditions of life. And something in you grows bigger than that which you're facing. So next Sunday in part 2, I want to go through the applications of this, which are tremendously powerful. And we'll delve deep into that and some of my own personal experiences of this as well. But today I want to leave you with 2 examples. The first is a person who found the more in a situation, in a really horrendous one. And the second is about a person who found the more within themselves. Okay? So I begin with a story that was recounted to the wonderful spiritual author Andrew Harvey by a person named Isaiah, and it was told to him about when he was 12, when Isaiah was 12, and Isaiah was caught up in the horror that was the Holocaust. And he fell at that time in the concentration camp into a state of deep, deep despair because his mother and his father and his sister had all succumbed to death due to starvation in the camp. And he knew that his chances of being freed, much less surviving, were very slim. And then to top it off, a sadistic guard beat him with a leather strap until he bled. And so he told Harvey, he said, all I knew was that I had to decide once and for all whether the horror that I saw around me was the ultimate reality or whether the joy and tenderness I could still feel stirring inside me was the truth. I knew that they couldn't both be the truth. And so he told Harvey that he contemplated this for months. He said, I wept over it. I wrestled with it. I had to know or I would drown in darkness. For the first time, I started to pray. My prayer, which I began to repeat at every moment, was only 4 words. Show me the truth. Show me the truth. But nothing came. Not a single insight, not a single vision. No dream with any comforting angel. But Isaiah went on praying, he said. And then early one winter morning, he heard a quiet voice say, "You must decide. You must decide." And he said that for a week he reflected on this, wondering, what could that voice mean? How could I, a child, decide the truth of the universe? And then one morning, Isaiah awoke, thinking about his mother, his cat at home, and the flowers and the vegetables in their kitchen garden, and his heart was full. And then suddenly, he knew what he had to do as he grasped what was at the very core of his heart. And he cried out, "I choose love. I choose love. I choose love." And then he says that he saw a sun, not of this world, had come out and was blazing glory all around me. The guard I had hated came out of another building. He didn't see me, but I saw him. And, this was the miracle, I felt no fear at all and no hatred, only a burning pity that scalded my eyes with tears. The thing in me that was crying was stronger than anything or anyone I had ever encountered. It felt like a calm column of fire that nothing could put out. And it was that deep transformational revelation of the more in one of perhaps life's most horrific experiences that also gave him the strength to survive that camp experience. I don't know what you're facing, but what I know is you can go to your heart and you can pray, "Show me the truth." You can cultivate moments of realizing the higher essence, intelligence, the power right here, right now, and let it invade you and uplift you. Next, I tell you about a man named Max. And by his own admission, Max lived close to the edge most of his life. Smoking, drinking, fighting, driving fast cars. At 63, he had been married 4 times. He had made and lost 2 fortunes, and he was now a successful cattle breeder. But this story starts with him in his therapist's office, and he's talking about the diagnosis he's just received, metastatic colon cancer. And he's talking to the therapist about that, and they explored his past, how he grew up in the Midwest. His father had been a cowboy, and he was closer to his mother, and his older brother, was closer to his dad. And he shared how he was born prematurely, and he was a sickly kid for his first 2 to 3 years. And that required an enormous amount of his mom's time and attention. And this began eating at his dad. And his dad's frustration grew and grew and grew until at one point, in a really violent argument his dad was having with his mom, his father pointed to Max and he said, "If that little runt was one of my animals, I'd have it put out to starve." And his father's resentment to Max just grew as Max grew to adulthood. In fact, there are times he wouldn't even acknowledge his presence. Then Max began to talk about the self-destructive behavior that had been the pattern of his life, saying that he'd pushed death for as long as he could remember. He said, "I always felt like I was no account, like I was no good." And the therapist said to him, "Well, perhaps it was hard to feel okay because you could never be sure just what you needed to do to be okay. Live to please your mother or die to please your father." And that shocked him. It shocked him to the core. And the tears started to flow. And then the therapist asked him, how did you make it through? How did you push through all of that? And at this point, he's sobbing, and he shared, oh my God, something in me wants to live. And she had him repeat that over and over. Something in me wants to live. Something in me wants to live. Something in me wants to go to the bigger picture of my life. With that transformational moment, connecting with that core essence that's here to shine its light, he later forgave his parents, and Max lived for 10 more years, calling them his best years, his very best years. We'll hear the drum beat. We will hear the drum beat. More, more, more. Sometimes it's the marketplace. Sometimes it's the unhealed and insecure within us. But how about we start marching to the drum beat of that greater essence of life? And we start making it our passion to explore the more and to invite moments of realizing the essence, the spirit, the light, the power, the love, the joy that permeates this moment. And we step out of the fog and we have experiences like that. Like that. And we are wowed like that. Oh, yeah. There's so much more. And this more is what our deepest yearning is all about. Let's go direct to it. It'll lift us out of challenges, difficulties. It'll help us when we're insecure. It'll cause us to have an even deeper appreciation for the beauty of life, the glory and the privilege it is to be here, alive. And our life will be definitely a life worth living and sharing. Let's have a prayer. Breathe deep. And may we begin with such great joy that we are not captive, and we need not remain hypnotized and manipulated. We need not struggle along paths to what at some level we don't really want. We're free to open our hearts, the corrective lenses of the heart, whereby we begin to see, to perceive, to realize the glory of the Spirit of us. Sense that glory within you. Rather than recounting the past or staying locked in your definitions of yourself, sense God's glory, the moreness of you. Embrace this moment of realizing your precious, God-intended essence. And love that. Give thanks for that. Be at peace with you. For you are as God intends you to be. And that has nothing to do with your circumstances or your past. You are a glorious movement of God's love, an emanation of the light divine. Know that, sense that. And you are an emissary of that light. And your life can be a path of extraordinary meaning and joy. Claim your freedom. So we go forth this week in the continuing remembrance of the greater essence. And we move our consciousness to the corrective lens of the heart, and we see it. We know it. And we draw from it power, confidence, courage. We are transformed from within. And I affirm and know that to our surprise, we'll realize things begin to shift to align with us, all around us. So I give thanks for the glory that is you. I give thanks for the glory that is life. And yes, there are the ups and downs, the joys and the tragedies of life. And yet the essence of life remains and continues, always building and growing. It's a light that shines into the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. So this day, fill your heart with this truth. Silently join Isaiah in proclaiming, I choose love. I choose love. For my own essence, for the essence in people around me, situations around me. And I call forth this healing energy, this uplifting, transforming energy, and send it forth as a blessing to all that I am about. Moreover, I give thanks for the peace within me, the peace that passeth all human understanding, the deep joy. It's like I've come home. And I know that life is good and I'm okay. In fact, I'm magnificent. And so is everyone else. So as we know these things, take them into our hearts and live them. I give thanks for the bounty that flows from us as we have received, so we give. And we also give our prayers to those who are beleaguered across the planet and troubled and challenged. And we just know the greater life that upholds them, guides them, restores them, renews them. And so for the beauty and the good, right here, right now, we say thank you, all creative, all originating Spirit. We know we're blessed and we give thanks. And so we let this be and become, and so it is. And amen.
Thanks for listening to the Mile High Church podcast. This podcast is made possible by the generous contributions from listeners like you. To make a donation, please visit milehighchurch.org.